In this video, I'm going to show you the easiest way to set up OpenClaw, even if you're not a tech person. If you haven't heard of OpenClaw yet, you're about to because it's taking the world by storm. This thing went from 9,000 to 140,000 GitHub stars in just a few weeks. People are actually calling it the closest thing to Iron Man's JARVIS that we've ever seen before. And here's why everyone's obsessed. Unlike ChatGPT or Claude that just chat with you, OpenClaw actually does things. It runs on your own server, it will message you on your messaging apps, and will execute real tasks autonomously. I'm talking about automatically clearing and organizing your inbox, managing your calendar and scheduling meetings for you, conducting research and building reports while you sleep, monitoring your business metrics and alerting you on any changes, and even building websites and apps from simple text commands. Entrepreneurs are now using this to automate their entire business processes. One guy built a stock analysis system that runs through Telegram. Another onboarded their entire client onboarding workflow. And the best part, it's completely open source and runs on your infrastructure, so you own everything. What's going on, guys? My name is Cornelius, and in this video, I'm going to show you the most affordable and easiest OpenClaw setup. For less than $15 a month and zero technical knowledge required, we're going from buying a cheap VPS to owning your own AI assistant in under 20 minutes. This is the exact same system that I'm using to automate parts of my business, and I'm going to show you every single click so that you can follow along even if you've never touched a server before. Let's dive in. All right, guys, we are now inside of the OpenClaw setup guide that I created. Link is going to be in the description, and I'll give you the full guide so you can literally just click the links and follow along. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Contavo. Now, there's a few different VPSs or virtual private servers that you can set up. I prefer Contavo because it's cheaper and you get more value out of it. And so what I did was I purchased the Cloud VPS 20 SSD. So if we go to their pricing plans, go to pricing. So I did the VPS 20. You can see the different data here. This is a 6 vCPU cores, 12 gigabytes of RAM. You really just want anything over 4 gigabytes of RAM because we're going to be running several processes in the background. So you want it to be moving quickly and respond to you quickly. So keep that in mind. Also, when you're choosing your API, that's going to play a factor as well. Now, when you go through and you get started, I just did the monthly plan just in case I want to switch over later. Maybe there's another website that offers a better deal later on, and I could just transfer over my knowledge bases. So I'm just on the monthly. I chose the 1 month, no setup fee. And you can actually choose the region here. So I chose United States, and I just paid a little bit extra. In USD, I believe this is around like 10 bucks. I did the free storage type. You want to choose Ubuntu for your image. It really doesn't matter if you want to do Windows, it's just more expensive. But I just chose Ubuntu. No data protection. You can leave all these other standards here. And this is where you're going to want to set your password. So I already have one set up, so I'm not going to do so. But you'll set your password here, and every time you go to log into your server, you're going to want to remember this password because we're going to be using it a lot. So once you complete your purchase, you're actually going to get an email. And this email, it's going to give you an IP address, your username, and then you'll have the password that you chose at checkout. This is what the email is going to look like. You're going to have your IP address, which you'll need when you SSH into your server. And it's going to have some other information, but that's really all you need is the IP address. And if you have any issues, you can reference your customer ID here. Now, once you have your IP address, you can now go onto the terminal on your Mac, or if you're using a Windows PC, you can go into command line, and then you'll want to put this in SSH root at your IP address because our username here is root, and then here's our IP address. Now, when you do this, it's going to ask for a password. That's the password that you set up down here because this is our root username. And again, like I said, make sure to remember this password because every time you SSH into your server, you're going to need to type in this password. Now, what is SSH? SSH stands for Secure Shell, And really it just means you're going onto the server remotely from your computer. So this isn't stored on your computer. This is on your server that you just purchased through Contabo. Now, once you are secure shelled into your server and you've put your password in, now we're going to install OpenClaw. So literally all you need to do is copy and paste this command right here. This is going to go onto OpenClaw on the website, download all the packages onto your server. It's going to take 1 or 2 minutes. And then once it's installed, you're going to want to run this command. Okay? From there, once that loads, we're going to type in this command. And that's going to show, that's going to show that the OpenClaw packages are fully installed. So if it shows a version number, you're pretty much good to go. If not, you may need to follow step 3 one more time. Next, we're going to actually run the setup wizard. So if I go into terminal right now and I SSH into my own server, let me just start a new terminal. And so for me, like I said before, this is my IP address. And I've actually set my own username. So let me quickly just pull that up. So for me, it's SSH, and then instead of root, because I've set my own username, it's going to be nick at IP address, right? So I'm going to click that. And so now I'm going to enter my password. And one thing to note here is when you enter your password, it's not going to show it. So don't be afraid if you don't see the password on your screen. Just type the password in and then click enter. And this is what you're going to see once you are on your Contabo server. This is what it's going to look like. So at this point, once you're logged in, again, this is where you install OpenClaw. So where you put this command, and this command. And then now we can run our setup wizard. So once it's installed, we'll type in OpenClaw. Oh, I can't type. OpenClaw onboard. And this is going to start the OpenClaw onboarding wizard. So you control these with the arrow keys and the enter and spacebar. So if I go here, I'm going to put yes. And then we'll want to do the quick start onboarding because it's a lot quicker than the manual setup. If you want to use the original config, you just use existing values. And then now here's where you configure your API keys. So I would recommend if you want to do the most expensive route, but also the best AI model specifically for OpenClaw, I would do Anthropic. So you can add your own API key here. I already have it set up, but basically you'll just go down with the arrow key to Anthropic API key. You'll click that and then copy and paste your Anthropic API key. If you need to figure out where that is, you can just Google search Anthropic API key. You can set up your account, add a credit card. It's pretty straightforward. Let's see if this might be the documentation. All right, so you'll head over to platform.claude.com, go down to API keys. And then you could just create your own key here. You copy it and you paste it into your terminal once you select Anthropic API key. I'm going to click back because I've already set it up. And a lot of people will do OpenAI or they'll do Minimax here. Those are the probably the most common models. Sometimes people use Z.ai too, or OpenRouter or Google. It really depends on you and like what you want your personality for the AI to be and what kind of tools you're going to have the AI set up. For me, I've already got it all set up on Anthropic. Again, for me, that's what I prefer. So I'm just going to skip this for now. Once you've chosen the specific provider of the model, you can actually choose which model you want to use. So for me, I used Sonnet 4.5. I'm not using 4.6 just because it's a little cheaper to use 4.5. But you can choose any of the earlier models if you'd like. If you want to cut on costs or maybe have it run a little bit quicker, you can choose your model here. Next, you can start to set up where you want to interact with your chatbot. So if you want to talk to OpenClaw via Telegram, you just put in the bot API here. If you want to do it via WhatsApp, via Discord, via IRC, Google Chat, Slack, iMessage, you can communicate on literally any of these platforms and the AI will be on the other side. So pretty commonly, a lot of people will use Telegram or WhatsApp. I'm going to show you in this video how to set up Telegram, but all of them are pretty simple to set up. And if you need any help, you can just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I'm setting up this bot on WhatsApp. Can you please walk me through? Pretty easy. But for Telegram, I would just hit Telegram. And what we'll want to do here is get the Telegram bot API. So we'll let this load for a second. And I'm going to modify the settings so you can see what we're supposed to do. I'm going to click no. And then now I'm going to get the Telegram bot token. So now if I head over to Telegram, what you want to do is message this account called BotFather. So find the username BotFather, open the app, or I'm sorry, you don't need to open the app. Just go and message BotFather, and you're going to do /new bot. It's going to say, what do we want to name the bot? I'm going to say tutorial bot. Okay, now you need to create a username for it that needs to end in the word bot. So I'll just do tutorial 1234 1234 bot. So that's going to be the username when you message it. And then here's the API key. So you'll just go in, copy that, and paste that API key directly into that Telegram bot token. Now, I don't want to use this one. I'm going to go back and use my last one because I have everything already set up there. But really doesn't matter. I'm just going to copy this one and go back. Click enter. And then once that's done, now it's set up on your Telegram. So if you message this username, tutorial 1234 1234 bot, it will now respond to you on OpenClaw. Okay? Now, next, we'll want to configure our skills. And again, I wouldn't message it now until you've completed the setup, but now your Telegram is connected. So next, we'll want to configure skills. I'm going to click yes. And I'm not going to go through every single one of these skills in this video. I'm just going to highlight the more essential ones. But if you want to use Gemini for research, or perhaps maybe you're creating images via Nano Banana, we'll want to choose Gemini here. So we'll click space. Space means to select one. Another one that might be helpful is GitHub for adding code to GitHub and then posting it to various servers. Here's Nano Banana Pro. We can select that one if you want to generate images. If you want to create PDFs or edit PDFs, you can use Nano PDF. Whisper, if you want to do text-to-speech, you can add that. So for all these, you're probably going to add an an API key. For most of these, here's text-to-speech, SAG, whereas OpenAI Whisper is speech-to-text. Summarize, this is really good for if you're getting articles or YouTube videos and you want to summarize them. This is a pretty good tool. I like video frames because you'll be able to extract particular clips from videos using this tool. That's the WhatsApp client. If you want to connect it to X, it's X URL. For me, I'm just going to do skip for now because I already have everything set up that I need. So I'm just going to remove all of these. And one cool thing that you will want to set up is called, let's see if it's here. It's called Claw Hub. It appears they actually removed it from the skill dependencies, but you do want to use Claw Hub because that will allow you to install external skills directly onto your OpenClaw agent. So that means there's an entire database of skills. So if I go to Claw Hub AI. You can go through and browse all of these skills on ClawHub. You can download them and then install them into your agent. So if I go to skills here, so this is Google Workspace skill. This is a self-improving agent. This is a web search skill, summarize. So these are all more advanced skills than what's typically available on the skill dependencies out of the box. So highly recommend checking out ClawHub and connecting skills that way. Here you're gonna set all of the API keys for the skill dependencies that you've selected. For me, I'm just gonna select no on all of these because I already have it set up. And then hooks. There's a few different settings we can add here. bootmd is basically being able to run certain commands when your gateway restarts or your server restarts. Bootstrap extra files. This is basically being able to take extra files with you between chats. It's useful if you want to retain that knowledge base between chats with different files. Command logger, this logs all of your commands inside of Claude or inside of OpenClaw so that if you want to go back and debug later, you can. And then there's session memory, which this is going to save all of the context from every session you have into its knowledge base so it has that context in future sessions. So what I would recommend is I would add command logger and session memory. And that's really all you need for the basics. If you want to do some more advanced stuff, you can add those and then go from there. Here you can add a gateway service. For the most part, you can probably skip this. I already have mine connected, so I'm going to skip. And then here, I would just hatch into UI. That's the recommended, so let's go with the recommended setting. Awesome, now you have officially started OpenClaw. So you should see, wake up my friend, and you should see the response. So this is like the input, and this is the output from OpenClaw. So I already have it set up, so it's like picking up where we left off, and now it's talking about what we talked about previously. So now if you want to chat with OpenClaw, you can just start typing in here, and just say, what is your name? We'll just ask that. And so now you can see OpenClaw is running, we're connected to it, it's thinking, and it's going to respond here shortly. Cool. And then now you can actually go into Telegram and you can test out to make sure that it works. And say, hey, what is your name? And we can see that OpenClaw is typing. And we can see that it is now responding in our terminal as well. And it has responded here. So we can confirm that the Telegram connection works. We can confirm that it's working in the terminal. And now we can start asking OpenClaw to do things. Now, one of the first things that a lot of people like to do is set up like a dashboard so that people can see what OpenClaw is doing, what tasks it's completed, what it's currently running, and what it's going to run in the future. So I actually built one, and literally all it takes is like running a few different prompts and asking it what you want on the dashboard. And this is what it looks like here. I can create a more in-depth tutorial in another video, but basically it's just prompting OpenClaw to create this dashboard for you. So we can see the model that it's on, the uptime, the different API calls, that the heartbeat is active. I can actually restart the gateway directly from my website here. And then I can see the different messages that I've done, how many tokens I've used, the typical cost over a 30-day period, my active sessions, and we have a chart for token usage and tool usage breakdown here. All right, so that's the complete OpenClaw setup process. You just learned to set up your own VPS and connect securely, how to install OpenClaw and configure it with your API keys, connect it to Telegram so you can control it from your phone, set up the dashboard and browser view, and how to get it running 24/7 in the background. Here's what's crazy. You now have your own personal AI assistant running on your own server that can browse the web, automate tasks, and execute commands while you're sleeping. In future videos, I'm gonna show you specific use cases. For example, how to automate your email, how to build research systems, how to create social media content pipelines, and even set up business monitoring so you can see new opportunities that come in real time. If you want to learn how to build complete automation systems just like this, not just OpenClaw, we're talking AI voice agents, CRM automations, workflow builders, the whole stack, join me inside of Automation Academy. Link is in the description. If this video helped you get OpenClaw running, smash that like button, subscribe for more AI automation tutorials, and drop a comment telling me what you want your AI assistant to automate first. All right, that's all for me, guys. I will see you in the next one. Stay blessed with success.